So one thing that has plagued these foldable phones has to be the cameras. Now, with the recent Galaxy Z Fold 4, they fixed a lot of those issues. This is coming in from tomsguide.com with the article artist being Richard Priday. Now, recently with the brand new Galaxy Z Fold 4, they added a lot better sensor and a lot better cameras to the back of the phone, making it very comparable to the top smartphones on the market, including the iPhone 13 Pro Max and the Galaxy S22 Ultra. Now, while this still holds a $1,800 price tag, for the average consumer, that's a lot of money to spend when you can have more comparable stats elsewhere. Now, I want to preface this by saying, if you're comparing an iPhone 13 Pro Max to a Galaxy Z Fold 4, there's no true comparison. You have a beautiful tablet-like device that you open and you close, and you can do so much more stuff on while having double the amount of gigabytes of RAM, arguably a better processing unit on the Galaxy Z Fold 4 than the iPhone 13 Pro Max. But for the average consumer, they don't look into all that stuff. They're looking at the surface level, and the surface level says, what are the cameras on the back of this device? How does it compare to the iPhone 13 Pro Max? Am I getting $600 worth of value? So let's go ahead and take a look at this and actually break this down. So as you guys can see on your screen right here, we have the Galaxy Z Fold 4 on the left-hand side, and we have the iPhone 13 Pro Max on the right-hand side. So as I move this slider, you guys can see that we are seeing more of one of the phones. So starting off right away, yes, we do of course have a little shed in the backyard here. And as you guys can see on the iPhone 13 Pro Max, it's a lot more vibrant. It's a lot more full of life and colorful. As we can see with the Christmas decorations, it actually goes ahead and like just absolutely flutters you with colors on the iPhone 13 Pro Max. Even the windows look a tad bit more detailed than the Galaxy Z Fold 4. And if we go ahead and go over to Z Fold 4, again, like I said, you take a look at those windows, a little bit more detailed on the iPhone 13 Pro Max than they are in the Z Fold 4. But again, that is something that Samsung has always kind of went with, is that all their phones, when it comes to pictures, a lot of them are more washed out. It's less colorful than the iPhone 13 or iPhone in general. The iPhone has always been known for more colorful images and really just pushing that kind of lifelike look out there, while Samsung has been more about details and crispness. Now, taking a look at our next image here, we actually have a beautiful dessert looking right at us. And now I'm getting a little hungry, I'm not gonna lie to you guys. But of course, we do have the Galaxy Z Fold 4 that's actually, surprisingly enough, looks a little bit more vibrant. Now, these are two different angles of a shot. And this is, as a photographer, this is like, really is always the weirdest thing. Because when you get two different angles of a shot, what ends up happening is you have different colors or different lighting on different shots. So if I take a picture, for example, of my iPhone right here, right? And I take a perfect picture, whatever, and then I take a picture of it when it's right here, there's going to be a shadow. There's going to be different lighting effects on it. So this is what I don't like whenever they do photos of stuff. You got to really keep everything kind of lined up and in parallel with each other. Because if you don't, you're actually going to mess up your results, especially when it comes to lighting. Lighting is everything in photography, especially when you're setting certain, stuff. Now, obviously, with these phones, there are actual settings you can set on the Galaxy Z Fold 4, the S22 Ultra, where you can really control a lot more than you would be able to on a typical smartphone. It's getting to the point now with these phones and the software where you can actually control it like an actual camera. That means setting the ISO, the aperture, and the f-stop. So this is actually really cool. We're not at a point where you can actually set like the what's called camera shake, but a lot of these do actually have OSIS built into their actual phones and those sensors. Image stabilization is what that is, guys. So a lot of these are able to stabilize the image without you having to go ahead and make sure your hand is perfectly still, which actually is a really dope feature. Nonetheless, though, taking a look at this, like I said, yes, it looks a lot more vibrant on the Galaxy Z Fold 4, while the iPhone 13 Pro Max looks a little bit more drawn out and saturated. And of course, it does look a little bit more detailed than the Galaxy Z Fold 4. If we look at the little strawberry stems, it's not much of a detail difference, but it's a tad bit when you go ahead and really break down and look at it. So I will say overall wise, again, I'm not sure if that's the intent of the actual article here. It's to try to make it look like, hey, some images it's gonna be saturated and some images this won't be saturated. But if we go ahead and look at our next image here, we of course do have again another image of the iPhone 13 Pro Max being very vibrant and colorful, and then we have a very saturated image of the Z Fold 4 being the absolute opposite. Now, what's kind of funny here is we actually have the opposite of what we have with the last one. So this one is more a zoomed out picture of the Z Fold 4, while the iPhone 13 Pro Max is more of a zoomed in picture, which of course, as you guys can see in the background, for photography nerds, that background is absolutely beautiful. So this background is a low f-stop because what's happening is the background is blurred, but the actual focus... Okay, you know what? I'm not going to get into a whole photography nerd stuff, okay? Nonetheless, though, as I was saying, though, yes, it looks like it's more saturated on the Z Fold 4. Our next image we have here, again, same concept, a lot more full of life and just absolute, colorful on the iPhone 13 Pro Max, while a more zoomed in picture of on the Z Fold 4, this one is actually going to be 30 times zoom versus 15 times zoom. So as you guys can see, this is, of course, the iPhone does not zoom in as well as the Z Fold 4, and obviously not as well as the Galaxy S22 Ultra, as the 22 Ultra does go up to 100 times zoom. But as you zoom in more and more, a lot of people do not understand this, that you actually start getting to digital zoom. Now, what a digital zoom is pretty much, yes, you are taking an actual picture of the image, but what it's actually doing is digitally helping you being able to see the image clearer. So a lot of times what happens is details do get a little bit screwed or messed up because of the fact you are literally using a digital helping guide pretty much to go ahead and take a picture. So this is 30 times zoom, and they actually don't go any more than that. I believe the Galaxy Z Fold 4 is only 30 times zoom anyway. And then we have a picture of a cup right here, and again, like I said before, more vibrant, more colorful on this image. While this is more saturated, the background, you can see the blacks are really just saturated on this image, while on the iPhone 13 Pro Max, it's more vibrant and colorful. So now taking a look at the iPhone 13 Pro Max here, it's actually very much the opposite. Very saturated lawn color, while this is more vibrant. So again, like I said, it really does impact lighting. But as we have seen so far, on the majority side of things, we're going to see a more saturated look on the Z Fold 4, which in all honesty is not bad at all. So now they're looking at this compared to the Galaxy S22 Ultra, which is more of a comparison because they're both made by Samsung. So taking a look at this phone, you guys can see a little bit more vibrant on the Z Fold 4 than the Galaxy S22. But look also at the sky. It's, again, like I said, it's really also, it's the time of day. It's like, you got to make sure everything is lined up. And I'm sure they did a great job of doing that. But I just want to make sure, like, if there was like a time thing we could see exactly. But as you guys can see, a lot more vibrant on the Galaxy Z Fold 4 than the Galaxy 22 Ultra. So again, like I said, at the end of the day, the Z Fold 4 has a really good camera. And if you're thinking about picking this up and, the camera is a big deal to you, you're going to get a really good camera. Of course, you have all the other features of the Z Fold 4 that's amazing. But yes, the camera will be on that flagship type quality. Now, for those who are just getting into the Z Fold series and this is your first Z Fold phone, I definitely do recommend it. It's absolutely a beautiful phone. Has a lot of characteristics that's going to make you just absolutely never want to go back to a candy bar cell phone again. And at the end of the day, you're going to have yourself truly a magical experience. But again, like I said, the $1,800 price tag is going to be scaring a lot of people off. It's not just a phone. It's a tablet phone. Keep that in mind. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys next one. Peace out.